Subscribe or they will haunt you. What's the dumbest thing you've ever heard someone say? I'm Jewish and up until a few months ago, I was absolutely convinced that Easter eggs supposedly came from the Easter Bunny shitting them out. I'm now pretty sure that the Easter Bunny just supposed to give out the eggs. Easter egg hunts now seem way less disturbing. It's been proven that if you dream about falling and hit the ground in your dream, you will die in your sleep. Yeah? If someone dies in their sleep, how do you know what they were dreaming? Work at a hotel. Guest asked why there was no 4th of July parade or any fireworks in town. We were in Australia. Did they try to pay their bill in American dollars instead of Australian dollars? Blue fire is cold. Okay, put your hand in it. It's so cold it burns you /us. A few years ago, leading up to the Great American Eclipse, a coworker overheard us discussing it and said, "Y'all don't actually believe in that shit, do you?" I figured he misunderstood whatever we were talking about and thought we were talking about mysticism or something regarding the eclipse. But no, he followed up with, "Don't you know, if the moon went into the sun it would melt. That's why the eclipse can't be real." I genuinely felt like humanity should probably start over from scratch after that. My mom frantically called me one day and said she had seen a piece of the sun fall off while taking a picture of the sky. She was incredibly adamant that it was indeed real and that the picture would prove it. It was just a glare. That chickens have no brains. Not that they are stupid. That a chicken literally does not have a brain. My sister panicked whilst on a plane and asked if she could open a window as she was feeling really hot. The guy in the seats across from her lost it. It made his day. When I was like 13, I told my friend that there was such a thing as Elijah. They had successfully mated a lion and a tiger. His response, "You idiot. Tigers are female lions." We took the argument to his mother to settle it. She took his side. A few years ago, I got a job offer in Japan and decided to take it. Some friends from my then office threw me a farewell party. The girlfriend of one of my co-workers came along and told me that she'd always wanted to go to Japan and that her number one thing to do there would be to take a camel ride. My co-worker and I just looked at her to see if she'd explain more. Maybe there was a camel cafe she'd heard about or something. But no, she just honestly thought camels were a common mode of transportation in Japan. Some girl once told me that it was impossible for me to be Vietnamese. BC Vietnam was a war and not a country. This happened while in college. SMH. Asia was a country in China. At a sushi place in Dallas, a large middle-aged man at another table shouted, "God damn, those Japs don't fuck around with their guacamole." There are 3 types of Asians: Chinese, Japanese and Asians. If you could adopt a child from a third world country, which country would you choose and why? I would choose Alaska because it's really cold there. A member of the prom court being asked a random question on our school's live news show that was being broadcasted out to every homer room. Someone once said, "But I don't want to put the bag of aquatic snails inside the fish tank. They might drown." That someone was me. Past me as dumb. A girl in my class asked why do farms exist if she gets her food from the supermarket. The teacher had such a disappointed face and everyone looked at her and wondered how did she pass all the way through the 8th grade. In 8th grade, this girl, dead serious, asked, "How did people breathe before there was electricity?" I was boiling some eggs and was talking to my sister on what a pain it was because I could never peel them good. She then asked me why I didn't just peel the eggs before boiling them. Edit, y'all set me on egg hacks for life. They're all extraordinarily, so thank you guys. If you're an atheist, that means you're not allowed to use the Roman calendar because it was invented by Christians. I knew a girl who said, "What's the big deal about Obama being elected president? Our first black president was Martin Luther King." Why don't vegans eat fish? They aren't animals. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. After watching a movie in 3D they said that was amazing. I wish real life was in 3D too. That you can't walk to the front of a plane because it's moving faster than you can walk. This was a teacher. We were in class and this girl was so confused at how a flight from America to Russia could be quick because the world map shows America being at the far left and Russia on the right. The teacher said, "Look at the map." She replies, "Yeah, they're so far away." A moment of silence. "Teacher, the world is round. It isn't flat like a map." I was actually the dumb person, sadly. I was at a friend's house and couldn't remember if I left the hair straightener or oven on at home, and I asked my friend, "What if there's a fire? The door's locked, so my cats won't be able to get out." Yeah. I believed for at least 30 seconds that cats could open doors. Last. This requires some backstory. I went to a really prestigious New England private school on scholarship for high school, so most of my classmates were insanely wealthy. I was waiting for a class to start one day and the guy sitting behind me was complaining to a friend that the milkman was late that morning, so he didn't get to eat breakfast. I, like any normal person, turned around and asked him what he meant by milkman. Apparently the town he lived in, very wealthy, was serviced by a local dairy, so they got fresh milk delivered every day. I must have been looking at him like he had 3 heads, because he proceeds to ask me in complete seriousness, "Well, where do you get your milk?" And the worst part is that, because my middle class friends weren't in this class with me, I ended up looking like the weird one for getting my milk from f***ing grocery store. Edit. For those who were wondering, I didn't know that milkmen exist. I just assumed at the time that they were a thing of the past. I had no idea this was a fairly common thing in the area. I'd be jealous if I weren't extremely lactose intolerant.